So I'm trying something new. All right. Trying something new. I am going to try and use Zoom instead of a regular, whatchamacallit. I'm still sick, but I don't care. I came across something that was, I mean, it's not great, but it's still fun to learn about, I think, to discover. And it is the eerie predictions between the Simpsons, the longest running show I think on television ever. I think that that's what it is. And real life, real things that have happened. Not they don't happen at the same time. They happen like decades apart sometimes. But it's almost like the Simpsons can see the future or some weird shit. It is so fucking strange. But anyway, so I wanted to give this a shot because I thought, what the hell? I mean, I watched The Simpsons a little bit. I have a friend of mine who honestly I think shares a blood type with Homer. I'll try to get him on one day for a what do you call it episode, but because he's hysterical. I mean, he's a whack job, but he's hysterical. So we are going to start right out because there's a few of them. I mean, there's actually a ton of them. I picked out the ones that I thought were the most kind of trippy. And okay, keep in mind, it just happened with the Titanic thing, right? I mean, with that Ocean Gate, Titus, Titanic tragedy. So keep that in mind because that comes up. No shit, totally comes up. So in 1993, between 1993 and 1994 was season 5. And in episode 15, there was something called accessible space travel. Okay. And it was really the episode was called Deep Space Homer. And as you can see in the picture, he's, having a great old time eating whatever they are, cinnamon toast crunch or something. So aside from having awesome guests on that episode, because they had the Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin, and they had musician James Taylor on it, but they also just showed the realm of possibility to put civilians into space a little before it's time, because look at what's happening today. Hello. There are civilians almost on a normal basis making plan, complete civilian what do you call them, crew, not even astronauts going into space. I mean, it's insane. It is bonkers. Okay, so that's the first one that I was like, holy shit. Now episode 6 had a couple of them. Lisa's wedding, I don't know if you remember this, but 1994 to 1995, episode 19. And the character Hugh, in a brief moment, talks into his watch. Now, 2 decades before smartwatches ever came out, mind you. All right. Now, in episode 5, again, we're going back to episode 5, but this time, I mean, season 5, episode 19, it's serving horse meat. Remember way back, I don't know if you remember, in 2013, I know way back, 10 years ago, though. That was 10 years ago. Holy shit. All right. So 10 years ago. And Doris, the lunch lady, or she was casually adding horse meat into the Springfield elementary school lunches, serving them to the kids. I mean, it's not so funny because it did turn out to be true in 2013. And this episode came out in 93. All right. So it came to find out that 29% of the animal of horses used in Tedesco burgers were horses. So millions of beef products were pulled from around Europe. I didn't realize. I got to be honest. I heard I think I was more on like the Taco Bell thing, that they were the ones that had the horse meat thing going on. I still think that's a thing for them, but I don't know. Next up, in seasons 90 to 91, it was season 2 episode. Oh, my phone keeps going off. Just ignore it. I do. The three-eyed fish. Okay, Blinky. The three-eyed fish. So turns out This one was about, Burns, who has the nuclear plant. Well, in this one, it's a funny reminder how horrid side effects that the nuclear plant was having on the town, and it was mutating flora and fauna. And a practice that appeared in the episode that was widely accepted or ignored by the residents. But it turns out, okay, in real life, there was a counterpart over a decade ago. So that's, about 2013. An Argentinian fisherman caught a three-eyed wolffish in a reservoir near a nuclear power plant. Hello, parallel. Anyway, and then 2011, 2012 episode, season 23, episode 22, Lady Gaga. All right. About 5 years before she did anything with the Super Bowl, she was at the Super Bowl when she goes, it's the episode was called Lisa Goes Gaga. And do you remember she came to Gaga went to Springfield and did a concert and had those things coming out of her and her chest. And then she flew over the audience and flew wherever, like into the air, and played the piano and all that stuff. And then they showed in 2017, she's at the fucking Super Bowl doing the same exact thing. I mean, flying over the audience and everything. It's great. Now, keep in mind, maybe some of their creative people that work for Gaga were like, hey, remember back when we did that Simpsons episode? We should do that. But I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Well, anyway, in 1998 to 1999 was season 10, episode 5, which is Walt Disney and Fox merger. Okay. In 1998, Homer met Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger and decided to work for them. Because, of course, what else happens in these episodes? And Homer suggested an idea for a movie during a phone call with 20th Century Fox executives. The next scene shows that 20th Century Fox was now owned by Walt Disney. I mean, this is one of the most infamous predictions. Because in March of 2019, Disney announced a $71 billion merger with Fox, like in 21st Century Fox. Isn't that crazy? All right. Anyway, 1999 to 2000, in season 11 of episode 17, the Trump presidency. And it's called Bart to the Future. And it premiered in 2000. And it was when Bart and Lisa saw their futures. And the leader of the country was Lisa Simpson, of course. And Lisa mentions that the US was tasked with fixing the economy after Trump's presidency. A lot of things to fix. Not just the economy. In one scene, which almost looks identical, and you'll all know it when you see it, or if you're seeing it, is when that idiot goes down the escalator with Bart right behind him. But in reality, the only difference is it was Melania that was with that thing, and they were going down the fucking escalator. Crazy, right? That is weird. I mean, that looks almost like exactly how it kind of went about. So anyway, in 94 95, season 6, episode 19, it's called FaceTime, and we're back again to Lisa's wedding. And it's Lisa goes to a fortune teller, okay, and it predicts her future in 2010. So it's like a long ways, the 15 years in the future, which consisted of her marrying her college sweetheart. And she was excited to share the news, so she called her mom. Well, her mom dialed, Lisa dialed, and she used a screen that showed Marge's face in real time, attached to a rotary phone. Like, what? How does that even? I mean, Skype wasn't invented until 2003, and then the Apple it announced FaceTime for Apple users in 2010. Crazy parallels once again. The psychic abilities of the freaking writers. I don't understand how they came up with this stuff. In 93 to 94, there was season 4, episode 21, called The Pandemic. You know what's coming next. In 1993, the episode Marge in Chains aired, okay? The episode focused on Marge charged with shoplifting, and she was forced to serve jail time. The rest of Springfield caught the Osaka flu. After a shipment of products reached Springfield. Osaka flu demonstrated very similar effects as the COVID-19 pandemic did. Now, this next one is the one that I was mentioning before. Crazy coincidences. All right. 17-year-old episode called Simpsons Tide. Okay. Which features Homer taking charge of a submarine, and Simpson fans are saying the show predicted the Titanic submarine disappearance. Turns out this particular episode was actually written by future passenger Mike Reese, who himself went down in the Ocean Gate to see the Titanic last July. How crazy is that? One of the writers of The Simpsons went in the same exact vessel that went and disappeared and then imploded and had that and killed everybody just last week. How unbelievably trippy is that? I mean, I almost lost my mind. I didn't lose my mind. My mind's been gone for ages. All right. And these last couple I just thought were interesting ones. So these are like my one-offs. I don't know if you've really heard of like the Higgs boson particle. It's also called God particle. Anyway, there's an episode in 1989, 99 to 99, season 10, episode 2. It's called the Wizard of Evergreen Terrace. Okay. And in this episode, Homer becomes an aspirational inventor and scribbles profusely on a chalkboard, which reveals a math equation at the bottom that decades later scientists discovered looked an awful lot like the God particle equation. It was off by like it. I don't know how else to say it because I don't know anything about science and math, as I've mentioned before. But he was real close. So the writers got this equation real tight to what the God particle is. And it wasn't invented. And for like, I don't like, when was it? Decades later, it said. Decades later. So I don't know. It's just insane. Now, the last one, though, is so relative to today. NSA spying scandal. Okay. In 2007, The Simpsons leaped to the big screen. Okay. And it's where Marge discussed her plan to out government secrets. And we were taken to the headquarters of the NSA. And inside, there's a room full of monitors, of course, and a whole staff listening to phone calls in the hopes of catching America's Most Wanted. It was one of the NSA's listening. It was as if the NSA was listening, because in 2013, Edward Snowden, who we all know, revealed to the public numerous secret surveillance programs the agency was operating. Nutty, I tell you. Now, as a reminder, I want to help you remember what I talked about at length, called soft disclosure. And it's something I learned watching a couple of clips and reading on ACIO website. They have this, it's the phenomenon where, like popular media, such as video games, movies, shows like The Simpsons, absolutely like The Simpsons, are used to allude to an actual agenda. Okay. The events and phenomenon that are going to be happening or are happening can be introduced in a slow roll, okay, to us, Joe Public, through these vehicles, through these vessels, if you will, even whistleblowers. David Grush, I completely believe everything he represents and stands for and says, and no one will change my mind on that. And no amount of skepticism will change my mind on that. He has been vetted extensively, so I'm on board with him. But I mean, whistleblowers are there too to do their job. And soft disclosure can help condition the public and minimize shock when the actual events or disclosure intel is released, which, gosh, whoever knows when that's going to happen, but it is out there, for a reason. Some prime examples that you probably don't even realize are part of soft disclosure, are things like The Matrix. Netflix is the Umbrella Academy, right? I've told you about the Umbrella Corporation. Well, Resident Evil, Minority Report with Tom Cruise, Army of Thieves. Oops. I turned pink for a moment. Interesting. Um, Ultraviolet, ironic. Ender's Game with Harrison Ford, The Kingsman, Inception, Uncharted, Looper with Bill, oh my God, Bruce Willis, and Red Dawn, classic. Blade Runner, Tomb Raider, Army of the Dead, the zombie apocalypse stuff. I'm going to be doing a whole thing on a zombie apocalypse just because I kind of think I have to. I just think I have to. So I'll do that. But anyway, I thought this was a fun one. It's interesting because I'll tell you what, the Simpsons, I mean, they're still going strong as far as I know. And so are their predictions. Right up into this last week. It's strange. So strange. Anyway, I hope until next time you are staying happy and healthy. I am trying my hardest to get back, just to get back to zero here, because I'm still in the negative as far as that goes. But I will hopefully get that rectified soon. And I hope that you stay weird. Just stay weird. Just do it, man. And then take care, but also and one more note on the whistleblower stuff, just because I'm doing my follow-up homework on that stuff. More and more people are, wanting to find holes, make Swiss cheese out of claims, especially David Grush's latest disclosures. And, decide for yourself, do your own research, decide for yourself what you think is true and what isn't. Always do that with everything. Decide for yourself. Don't necessarily take the word of people who you don't know, haven't been vetted, and just have a platform. Okay. Me included. I'm not here to go, you should believe this, you should believe that. I'm telling you just what I believe. So, all right. I'm hopping off my soapbox, and I'm going to tell you to just have a great day. All right. Bye.